What's up, everybody? I'm Brian Altano. I'm here with Jose Otero.
What's going on, man?
Amazing, huge news for Nintendo happened today.
Something
First
like
time
that.
ever in Nintendo history, one of their games, a flagship first-party title, Mario Golf for the 3DS, is getting a season pass. Yeah, season pass. We've seen them in Call of Duty, we've seen them in Borderlands, we've seen them. Every other major developer ever, pretty much, has done a season pass. But this is Nintendo's first. So what's going on?
So it's interesting for them to jump on this bandwagon right now because I feel like the season pass trend sort of, I don't want to say it peaked, but it feels like it almost did with some shooters last year. And folks were like, well, you know, how many people are really buying these and how effective is it? But regardless, Nintendo is jumping into that pool and saying, all right, well, available in May. Starting in May, there's going to be 3 downloadable packs that you can buy separately for $6 or that you can pay $14.99 and get all 3 when they come out. It's an interesting strategy for them just because they've done DLC in other games before. They did it with Fire Emblem Awakening where they had multiple packs and they had sort of different pricing for if you bought the maps individually versus if you bought them as a whole.
Yeah, the package deal type of situation.
Yeah. They also, but it wasn't a season pass. And then they, well, let's see, what else? Pikmin 3 got DLC, but that was also kind of spaced out in a weird way. Whereas this one's more aggressive. It's like early May, late May, June, you're getting...
This is an actual season.
Yeah, so, you're getting 2 courses per pack.
We've been seeing this weird, cool, kind of crazy new side of Nintendo where they're trying out a bunch of different pricing models. We saw them do it with the Wii Sports on Wii U. They were like, you know, it's free for a weekend, or, you know, rent the game and have it for 24 hours or whatever. We saw it with Rusty's Real Deal Baseball where they're just like, here's a free game, but the more you want to spend on it, the more game you get from it.
Even Steel Diver, you know, you got free multiplayer and some limitations, but you got a core experience. So it's interesting because some people would argue, and I might agree, I think I agree with this, is just that Nintendo's been kind of late to the digital scene in terms of playing around with pricing. But at the same time, they're a company that stands up and says these things have value, we refuse to devalue them, and we want to make sure that it's still worth it to the consumer, but it's also not 99-cent price models like everyone's sort of grown used to with iOS. So it's interesting.
Do you think they're testing this out, and depending on its success, are going to roll a system and a business model out for their next big games, namely Super Mario Kart 8, which is coming out in 5 weeks, or Smash Brothers, which hits the 3DS this summer, and then the Wii U in the winter. I mean, is this a sign of things to come?
I hope so. I mean,
you hope so?
Well, I hope so because I'm not sure. Because when you look at something like Super Mario 3D World, which I think was a fantastic game they had last year, there's been no post-DLC support for that game. That game came and went and was good for what it was, but that's it. Right? They didn't follow it up with anything.
A bonus world or something for $3.99 would have been a huge opportunity for that, and you're saying they kind of just left that.
They just let that go. I do think, though, that at least at Nintendo, there are a lot of folks sort of trying to either make an NCL or even an OA aware of how digital pricing and playing around with pricing and giving people sales and incentives can incentivize consumers to show up and buy things or to kind of extend the life of a game. And I think that clearly this is them sort of playing around with that. But I think you're absolutely right that the big question is, what does this mean for Mario Kart? What does this mean for Smash Brothers? Because both can easily, at least in our minds, support some sort of DLC model, whether it's a season pass where you're giving more racing courses, more retro courses, and you really flesh out what Mario Kart is. Or even Smash Brothers, where maybe you're not doing a character pack, but you're doing extra stages. You're bringing back, I don't know if characters would be the way to go. I just feel like the minute you start putting DLC characters behind pricing gates, you're kind of setting up that community to be very upset with you. Right.
It's sort of polarizing because then some people have some characters and some people don't.
Whereas a stage,
stages is kind of...
I don't think anyone would be really upset about that.
A little different playing field.
Yeah, no, totally. And maybe even additional like unlockable trophies, but not like something that's core to the game like assist trophies. We saw Capcom experiment with that with Street Fighter vs. Tekken, and that didn't work out really well, where something like Gems wasn't really well received because it's a big part of how that fighting game was supposed to work.
Yeah. I mean, you don't want to break the camel's back and start selling, Mario trousers in different colors that are all available on the disc for $4.99 on day one. I mean, that's the sort of nightmare world of DLCs and season passes that we don't want to see happen with Nintendo.
Yeah, I think it's a good first step for them, and it's one they've needed for a while. So I think the obvious question then is, as you pointed out, will you do this for Kart? And I hope the answer is yes, because Kart and Smash are their 2 biggest games this year. We don't know what other November game sort of exists, and there probably will be one, but for the foreseeable future, those are the 2 that you really want to get people behind, get supported, and get people playing for a long time, because they're going to sell your system. Yeah, so we'll see.
Let us know what you think of Mario Golf's DLC and Season Pass. I'm kind of excited for it. And do you want to see a Season Pass model brought on by Nintendo for big games like Mario Kart and Smash Brothers? I know Jose does, I do too, so do the cops out there. For all things Nintendo, Season Passes, DLC, Mario Kart, Zelda, Smash Brothers, Kirby, did I name them all? No, I could go on forever. Keep it locked right here to IGN.